Xbox, Record This is a podcast celebrating all things gaming, Xbox, and the good old days. If you'd like to find out more, head to xboxrecordthis.com. Oh, hello. DaddyDWALLY here with another episode of Xbox Record This. This is episode 7. And as always, I am joined by the assistant to the co-host, Mr. Chipotle Bear. Welcome to XRT7. How are you, my friend?
I am doing great. Thank you, DaddyDWALLY, for having me as always. I do have to say that I appreciated you say episode 7. It made me feel like Star Wars episode 7, right? Like this is a rebirth for us after so many issues that we've had for the first 6 episodes technologically. Shout out to our boy in Israel who helped us this week. You want to tell him about what happened?
You know what? Thank you for setting me up perfectly like you always do with your segues. Yes, we would just like to give a shout out to Rowie. Rowie is a developer out in Israel. I had a 7 a.m. meeting with him on Sunday to discuss our recording issues, and we think we figured it out. So if any of you are listening and recording with Riverside, and you're on a 2016 Intel-based MacBook using Chrome Beta version 92, don't use that. Go back to 91. We've got Chipotle Bear in here. I am super excited. It's working, guys. I can see the upload now. We're going to have good audio and good video. Like Chipotle Bear just said, I'm so excited to be back on track. Let's move forward, baby. We're back to recording the good old XRT with high quality video and audio. Chipotle Bear, did you do anything cool this week? And I guess we both did. I know one thing you can share, but tell me, how was your last week, my friend?
You know, it was a great week. This was officially my first week of quote unquote summer vacation where I did not have school. So, I thought it would be a little bit more restful, but the truth was it is also my youngest daughter's birthday this week. Scarlett turned 4. And so it was a very busy week of preparation for, her birthday and some other stuff as well. Of course, Father's Day was on the horizon. We also had a couple of projects we were finishing for our house and stuff, trying to get ready for that. So it was very busy indeed, but it was great. And a huge shout, of course, to DaddyDWALLY and his family. They came out to hang out with us on Saturday for Scarlett's birthday. There's a park nearby where we live, Clement Park. There's a cute little splash pad for the kids. And so we just ran into one of the gazebos. Thank God we did, because they were all booked the day of that we got there. So shout out to my wife for doing that. And, it was a great day for about 16 minutes, and then we saw these terribly dark clouds coming over the horizon and saw lightning, and so immediately pulled all the kids out of the splash pad because it's obviously water that's unsafe. But it was great despite that. We had delicious pizza from Costco, which was phenomenal, as well as some snacks, and the kids had a great time. You know, something that you just learn as a parent is that it doesn't matter how much it's stressful for you, it's only stressful for you. The kids always have a great time. Like, you could literally throw them in a room with a bunch of boxes and mud and 2 cats, and they would have been like, that was the best birthday ever. So it was really great. But shout out to D-Wall and his family for coming through. And I still got to get you Grayson's shoes. I have them here in my garage.
That's right. Thank you for inviting us. We had a great time. I'd never been to that splash pad. It's very cool, very simple, and I can see why the kids love it. I just wanted to say that we had to leave early, you guys, because my wife is apparently just absolutely terrified of lightning. And it was a good thing that we were in the shelter, but I thought it was hilarious. My wife just couldn't take it. We had to bolt out of there. And I was going to ask you, Jose, how long did you end up staying after we left? I mean, and to be honest, dude, I forgot to say we were close to nap time anyway. It was actually perfect when we left because we got him back, let him wind down, and then perfect for nap time. So, but we had a great time. Just for all of our listeners, Chipotle Bear and his family always have phenomenal parties. Always make sure we're taken care of. Delicious food, delicious snacks, little party favors. I'm sure they got on Amazon or Costco.
Amazon, and Oriental Trading as well.
Yeah, I knew it. And it was a great party. So I wish. It was random though, because we were literally in with like 100-degree days, like record-breaking heat.
Oh my God!
And all of a sudden, just the thunder. And it was raining last night. It had been raining, so it's good for our lawns.
Love it.
But yeah.
So
how long did you stay?
Sorry, to answer your question, we've probably stayed another 30 to 45 minutes. I mean, after you guys left, we had one of our other friends they bailed out. Their daughter was very young. She's like 6 months old. So they were really just there for us because they're our friends. They kind of headed out. And then shortly after that, some of our neighbor friends started heading out. And by 30 minutes to 45 minutes, that's when it was time for me to go get the car and start loading stuff up. And, the nice thing about doing it in a park like that is it's a pretty quick cleanup. And we just threw everything in the car, came home. We had a couple hours to chill. And then we actually had a family barbecue for her birthday that evening. So like the aunts and uncles and cousins and stuff came through. It was great to see everybody. One of our cousins' girlfriend's family was in town. So they came and joined us. They actually are from Wisconsin, like Shady's wife, which is pretty cool. So it was a cool afternoon. It was a very long day, though. We were very tired by bedtime. And if it wasn't for Dad Rule 19, I would have gone to bed right away. But of course, at the end of the day, wanted to get a couple of hours of gaming in with the buddies. So
that's right.
So it was good, man. Overall, it was great. Other than that, we talked about my sprinklers were fixed. We needed to cut down some branches this week. So I actually just did that today in our front yard, got a pole saw and cut some fairly large branches out of the tree. And I envision all those videos you see on the internet where like a guy's on a ladder and you're like, what an idiot, as the branch like swings down and hits the ladder and they fall. That was me today, but I didn't fall. I tried to be as safe as I could, but no, other than that, it was good. Well, how was your week? What'd you guys do this week?
Yeah, besides the party, didn't do anything crazy. Grayson and I went swimming on Wednesday. We played hooky from school for him because sometimes I feel really guilty that the girls are here and he's at school, and my aunt always takes the girls whenever she takes care of them to cool places. So I'm trying to take Wednesdays off to just take them to go do something cool. So we went swimming, and I invited you. You're always welcome to swim at my aunt and uncle's, but I know you have a lot of pools. But other than that, the only other exciting thing that happened was I got my mountain bike. I sent you a picture of it. I got a Scott Aspire 940, pretty sweet gunmetal gray with some accent in orange, the Scott logo, and on the wheels. It's pretty sweet, you guys. I'm pretty excited. A beginner mountain bike, but I'm just going to try to get back into it. I did it a lot and growing up and through college, really. I really loved mountain biking. So just to ride around with Grayson, I'm very excited to be able to do that. So that was my week. Nothing too crazy. And then hopefully, I forgot to say at the beginning of the show, shout out to our almost assistant to the assistant co-host, N7 endorsement, which he also had a name change. So that's another reason why I wanted him here, to have this big, awesome name reveal, but I'll save that for him. Unfortunately, Chance is still putting his daughter to bed. So if he jumps in here, we'll get some, we'll let you know when he gets in here, guys. So it's just me and Chipotle Bear this week, the old duo.
I think it's also worth interesting noting that we're getting the recording back up and running when Chance is not here. Like that was the last time it happened, when it was just you and I before him.
That's true.
So, a little duality there for it. Just great.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I hope we figured it out. Yep. So Jose, what have you been playing? Let me tell you what I've been playing. You already know. Mass Effect, guys. I've been playing Mass Effect. I think I'm at almost like 28 hours. I'm on Mass Effect 3. I'm doing the Leviathan DLC. Almost at the end of it. And it's been a blast. But we'll talk about Mass Effect another day. Just quickly, Jose, anything different? Oh, we played some Call of Duty. Did drop into the new Season 4 update. I just get destroyed by the younger kids these days, and we didn't get a victory, but a lot of second places, a lot of heartbreaks. So, Jose, what have you been playing?
Just those two things. So I'm also playing the Legendary Edition of Mass Effect. I'm only on number 2, though, so I did finish 1 this week and started 2, and what a significant upgrade. Not that 1 wasn't great. Of course, it's set the stage for a lot of the greatness to come, and it's really cool that you get to port your character into 2. Not that that's a spoiler, but that's a cool aspect. And I've really been enjoying 2. There's the one thing I will say, again, it's not a spoiler, but there's these times you have to go to planets and mine resources, and it's literally like a mini game, but you probably do it 80 times over the course of the game, and most people just get really annoyed. I actually find it very soothing and enjoyable. So I've been doing a lot of mining of resources and playing Mass Effect and really enjoying it, really loving getting into the story and building out my team, which is cool. And then also, like DaddyDWALLY said, a little bit of Warzone last night. It was good to talk with our buddies Nico and Calipigian.
Shout out to Nico.
Yeah, who are also dads, who we play games with, and just good to chat with them. We season 4, and Dan and I both talked about this last night. It's probably the first season pass we're not going to buy, or at least I don't think I'm going to buy it either. Like, I know I might get that itch here in a couple weeks when I'm like level 40 and I could see all the stuff I could have, but realistically, like I have the skins I need and I'm not good enough to be getting those dubs all the time anyway. So it's more just a social thing. So that's what I've been playing. I'll probably keep playing Mass Effect this week, try to get through 2 and maybe 3 by the next time so I can start working on Cyberpunk and then Outer Worlds and Far Cry, of course. So
Yeah, and on the Call of Duty thing, I agree. I feel like I have all the characters I like. I personally think the modern warfare characters were way better, way cooler. So I don't think I'm gonna get it. And I recently bought the Die Hard guy, John McClane, and that was an amazing purchase because he randomly says random quirks I don't even know what they're tied to, honestly. And it's every time I hear it, I start laughing. So that has been the best purchase I've had. Totally worth getting John McClane from Die Hard.
But
yeah,
I have a question for you about the money thing before we go off on that. So I have about
that was $20.
I have 1,600 credits right now in my COD account. And so I'm like, if I'm not going to buy Season Pass 4, I probably won't buy 5 and 6 moving forward. So should I just blow that 1,600? And I actually like the skin. There's a Day of the Dead skin for Ghost that I really like. And so I kind of like, I think I might spend the money there. But if I'm also torn that if I end up buying the Battle Pass, I should have just waited and saved that money there. What do you think? Should I just buy the skin? Is that what you think?
Yeah, get the skin you want. I totally recommend that, and I would do it again. And I bought Ghost when he originally launched and left, and I also bought the Recon Contract.
Recon Contract. Recon Contract.
Oh, I bought the what's the killer from Saw?
Oh, Jigsaw. Jigsaw
Billy?
is the
whatever Jigsaw. I got that skin, and so I say go for the skins, man. To be honest, I don't think any of ever since Call of Duty Cold War took over, I have not been too impressed with the season pass. So
yeah, I'll probably just do that.
Moving on, Jose, I just wanted to reflect a little bit on how we're feeling, a week out about E3 and Xbox. And I wanted to ask you, did you tally our predictions like you said?
I am a man of my word, sir. I absolutely did tally the predictions.
You know what? And I think I saw you doing it right before we recorded while we were waiting for Chance. Am I correct?
No, I had it done before that. I was actually checking through some of the stuff with Nintendo just to refresh myself with the conference. But no, I did. Okay, but here's the thing. And so, for our listeners out there, of course, you can make your predictions on who won. If you listen to the episode and you obviously watched the E3 stuff, you should be able to figure out yourself. But for those that did not, to tell you what we did, we went through and each made 5 predictions before E3, before the Xbox showcase. I should say that the Xbox Bethesda showcase of what we thought could happen, with the idea of just to see who got the best right. Before we begin, though, DaddyDWALLY, there are 2 rules I need clarification on because it will actually influence who wins. So you are since Indoorsman's not here, you have to tell me what your thoughts are here. So the first question is, you and I really, not really Shady, but you and I had bonus guesses. Do those count anything or no? Like, are they a half a point? Are they 0 points? Your choice, because you made some too.
I think we needed to stick with the first 5, and we can do the bonus separate.
Okay. All right, so maybe like a consolation prize, the salutatorian of the draft, if you will. Okay, that's fair enough.
Or we can see we can see first 5 and then 5 with the predictions. How about that?
Okay, fair enough. And then, so the second question I have for you is, to get the full point, do you have to get everything that the person said? Because both you and I and Shady, there were some things where it was like there were 3 or 4 conditional pieces. Do we have to hit them all, or is it a majority, or what?
How about this? Let's go through mine and yours. Let's go through mine first, and we'll decide.
No, that's why you need to decide before.
Well, no, because when I listen to these, usually they break it up like 0.75. Like, I want to know what you think. If it was close enough, do you think you should just get the full point?
So here's what I like. I like the idea that we keep going with this as happens. We do a draft every time, basically, and then we kind of have the winners of the draft. I like that system, but it gets more complicated when you get into like 0.25, 0.5, 0.75. It's a lot easier with like either like full integers or maybe the 0.5, where that's why I was asking about the bonus thing.
Let's just go over it. Come on. Just tell us what your tallies are, what you initially went through. I know you have to have something.
So here's what I would say. Let's go by full points to start with, and you have to get everything you said. And then we'll see where we go. We can adjust from there because it's the first one. So the easy one,
I think it should be credit. I think it should be credit. I think it should be if you get like two of the
If you get the majority,
you divide it up. I'm just comparing to like other podcasts I've listened to. I feel like you should get partial credit because it's really hard to get one exactly right, and so that's why you get the full point.
Okay, all right. We'll go through as we go through. So the easy one here was endorsement. Right. He got 0 of his 5. And I feel bad he's not here to defend himself, but it is the truth. So his first.
All right, so it's a 2-man race. So
here's what he did though. So his first one was a Switch Pro. That's a no. That didn't happen. Number 2 was Final Fantasy VII Remake on Xbox. Nope. Horizon 5 as a Game Pass exclusive. Nope, that didn't happen. Gotham Knights new trailer.
Nope.
That also didn't happen. And his last one was Injustice 3. Which also didn't happen. Now, technically, he did say at one point that he also would have chosen Starfield, and you went first and took that, so it doesn't count. But just for the record out there, he did get kind of one. It just he didn't choose it first, so it's not his. So,
all right, guys, Chance got that 0. Big whiff on his. This is just bad for his application for the show.
It's a fatty goose egg. That's what happened. So, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So mine first thing was a Battlefield 6 trailer. That is a point for Chipotle Bear. Number 2, a new Halo Infinite trailer. I also got that one because a multiplayer one. Third one I said was...
These were gimmies. I just want to
whoa. Let's not... You're going to bet the pot called the kettle black there in just a second.
Besides
the new studio announced like a new partnership with the new studio for Microsoft. That did not happen, so I didn't get that point.
Yeah, it did. Oh, a new studio? Okay, no.
A new studio.
There was a partnership with a studio for Contraband.
Yeah. Okay.
But you said new, so we can't. Yeah, that's just.
So I said new.
You specifically said new, so no.
Okay. Mario Kart 9. There was Mario Party, but not Mario Kart, so I didn't get that one. And then I said the Dead Space high definition remake, which also didn't happen. So technically, I got 2 points.
But you're close. We'll talk about that later. But yeah,
I got close on the studio. Now my bonus ones, I did say a tease of Elder Scrolls 6. We did get that right because Hammerfell, the new location, was teased with some of the
That's not a tease. That's not a tease.
I think that counts as a tease.
No, that's an Easter egg. Doesn't count. I'm drawing the line right there. Doesn't count. That's an Easter egg. That's not
Spyro 4. That was a no. Wolfenstein 3 was a no. And then Sea of Thieves was an absolute yes. So that was my one true bonus one. Maybe the Elder Scrolls. That's debatable, but okay.
So maybe you're at 3 points. Now let's hear mine.
Okay. So yours was Starfield.
I got Starfield.
But
knocked it out of the park.
No. Well, you did knock it out of the park. You said a 2022 release date. You said
exclusive.
And there was a third thing. I forgot, but you
trailer, a reveal.
What you said.
This is a 1 point, Jose. I got to stop you right here. This is a 1 point.
No, it is.
I had like 3 things inside my prediction versus they're going to show Halo. Like, come on, man.
I for sure, I agree with you. I would have absolutely given you the point. I was planning on it, but the one thing you said conditionally was that it had to be a gameplay trailer, and it was not. It was a cinematic trailer. I'm not going to hold that against you.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't cinematic. That was in engine. Technically, that was gameplay. That was in the engine.
I wouldn't qualify that as gameplay.
It is. I'm just saying, you're right. We didn't see them doing stuff, but that's more gameplay than it is Redfall cinematic.
You're fair. That's fair. Anyway, I gave you the full point. I was going to give you that anyway. Your second one, you said Forza Horizon Mexico, and it was in Mexico, but it was 5. I still gave you the point. Don't worry. I gave you the point. You're absolutely right that you got it. So those 2. Then you said Gears 6 and or a new Coalition game. That didn't happen. Then you also said Mass Effect multiplayer and or a tease of a new Mass Effect. That was your pie in the sky. That didn't happen.
Yeah, but I just want to comment. I was confused. I thought EA was announcing sometime soon. They're doing it next month. So that might still be in play. That
doesn't count.
But I know.
We said E3 predictions.
I know. It doesn't count.
And then your last one you did get, you said a completely new Xbox IP, and we got Redfall, of course, even though it was a cinematic trailer. So that you were technically sitting at 3 points for sure in your original 5. So you are
5, boys.
You are a clear winner. Arguably tied with me because I got Sea of Thieves, but you also
2021. No, yeah, go into the bonus. I want to hear the bonus because I know I nailed one in the bonus too.
You didn't get it though. Your bonus was
I did.
A new Star Wars or Marvel exclusive, and we got Guardians, but that's not exclusive to Xbox.
That's partial credit.
No,
though.
no.
There's a new Marvel game.
You give me my partial
You're
credit.
Right. It didn't go. You're right. It wasn't exclusive, but I was close though with at least a new Marvel game. No one saw Guardians come.
You're right, and because we even said we talked about like X-Men, we didn't talk about Guardians. So I will say clear winner.
What were my other ones?
I didn't. You didn't have a lot of other ones because we were kind of bouncing around back and forth. We'll have to make those rules a little more clear next time. But officially, folks, you're hearing it here first. DaddyDWALLY is the first official winner of our annual E3 predictions challenge with 3 out of 5 correct for Starfield, Forza, and a new Xbox IP, which of course is Redfall. Shady in last place with a solid 0, and of course myself with 2 for Battlefield 6 and Halo, which I know were technically gimmies, but we'll have to rewrite those rules next year.
It's all right.
So that was our wrap up for E3.
Well, thank you. It feels good to be the first official winner of XRT E3 predictions. I wouldn't have had it any other way. I would have figured a way to have me win anyway. But I do want to say, shout out to you for second place. This just reaffirms that I made the right choice bringing you on as assistant to the co-host. And then also Shady getting 0 out of 5 makes me doubt him coming back to the show even more. So it all
Poor
worked
guy
out.
Can't even defend himself today.
Moving on.
Well, hang on. Wait.
I did. No, sorry.
I was just say, do you have any other things about E3? Obviously, we didn't talk about Square Enix. We didn't talk about Nintendo. Any other thoughts about E3?
Well, we're gonna go into the rest of those announcements in a second. I just wanted to take a moment right here. This is going to be a clip. Clip this, DaddyDWALLY, talking to yourself. I want to say and reaffirm again. I am so proud that Forza Horizon closed the show. Playground Games, you guys make incredible games. Thank you so much for everything you've made. You continue to grow and get better and better somehow, even though your games are already masterpieces. You absolutely deserve all the credit and the right to close Xboxes. Basically, you guys did close Redfall, whatever, cinematic trailer, lame. I went back and watched it again in 4K. Amazing. That song, immediately downloaded it, went to YouTube and saw all the top comments talking about who's here from Forza, who's here from Forza Horizon 5, who's here from Xbox. Amazing. You guys make the best trailers. Okay, so thank you again, Playground Games. Fantastic job. You deserve it, and I'm so happy that Xbox is giving you the credit you deserve. And I like how they're recognizing that there are multiple genres that could carry the brand going forward. It's not just Halo. It's not just Geared. I'm so happy they didn't show Gears. And I'm so happy that they showed Xbox in the middle of the show. And it wasn't even like this big deal. Xbox, we love Xbox. Halo, we love Halo. We grew up with it. It's always going to have a special place in our hearts. But that was a long time ago, Jose. Halo 1, 2001? And then Halo 2 and 3, those were all in the early 2000s. Like, those days are long gone. And I love Halo, but Halo isn't the thing it used to be. And that's not a bad thing. I can't wait for Infinite, and I'm sure it's going to be awesome. But I am so happy and proud. Shout out again, Playground Games. You guys deserve all the credit in the world. And I just wanted to say, Jose, I listened to some reactions and videos and podcasts, and I just got so angry when people were like, oh, Forza, they spent too long on that, or that's not my thing, or, it just killed all their momentum. And I'm just like, go play. You clearly haven't played Forza or gave it a real shot. Forza is up there with Sony's awesome third-party action adventure games. They are. The quality of their games, just because it's a racing game and it's this goofy, not even goofy, just this... it's just a non-simulation racer, open world racer. Everyone thinks that just because it's a car game, it's not as good as The Last of Us or Ghost of Tsushima or whatever, Spider-Man. It is just as good as those games in its own ways. So shout out to Playground Games. I love you guys. I just wanted to congratulate you again and take the time to say you deserve all of it, and the haters can stop putting down Forza. Anyway, do you want to say anything to that, Jose? I'm sorry.
No, I agree with you, man. Forza, and admittedly, and I'm first to say this, I didn't get into Forza until 4. Like I played it. I mean, like I saw you guys played it. You talked about it all the time, but I myself thought of it just as a racing game. And I was never super into Gran Turismo or Project Gotham or any of those titles, even though they were cool. And I appreciate the graphical fidelity for, what they did generations ago. But Forza is genuinely such a fun game, and you can just pop in and play. I like that they added a lot of actual social elements with it. But it is truly just a fun game, and it makes me really excited that Xbox highlighted it. And to that point, I think Xbox did such a good job. And obviously, a lot of it was geared towards Game Pass, and right that there were so many games coming to Games Pass. But realistically, they did such a good job of kind of promoting the little guy, focusing on these indie games and these little games that are all very different from one another, but have a lot to bring to the table. I think that's a great sign of what's to come. And I'm not hating on the big titles. I love the Halos. I love the Forzas. I also love like the Spider-Man. I love seeing the stuff for Horizon Zero Dawn and the Hidden Forbidden West. Like I think that's all really cool stuff to focus on that. But I really appreciate that they're helping everyone out here. So that makes me excited.
I completely agree. I think Xbox killed it. I don't know what they could have done better. And then I still read like, oh, well, they didn't have this, they didn't have that knockout. Nobody's ever going to be satisfied, Jose. And I'm tired of it. I want to stay positive. Xbox, you guys killed it. I don't know what you could have done more. It's like people wanted Skyrim revealed or something like that. I don't know. It's just like, come on, guys. We are going to get so many great games. And like you said, diverse lineup, small games, big games, DLCs. It was awesome. And we have so much to look forward to. So let's continue on with the E3 news. Jose, I just wanted to ask you, was there anything from, I don't know if you have the link from the Ubisoft, is it Ubisoft? Ubisoft conference. Was there anything that excited you there? I'm looking DLC for Far Cry, for Assassin's Creed, then Far Cry 6, Mario and Rabbids never played. There's an Avatar game. Couldn't care less about that.
No,
was there anything from Ubisoft
there
that
was,
stood out to you?
I'm sorry, I was taking notes. That's what I was doing before we started, just retouching on that stuff. And there wasn't anything that I was like super excited for. I mean, I'm sure some of it is just time and they're trying to focus on what's to come, that kind of stuff. But no, I mean, there wasn't anything like the Pandora. I'll be honest, like I never got into Avatar like a lot of people did. And so
me neither. I think it's so overrated.
I know that's a hot take for a lot of our listeners out there, but I just really didn't get into it. I think a lot of people loved it, man. They made it a freaking park like a theme park.
I can't believe that's like the #1 movie of all time, grossing movie in the theater. It is. I remember I saw that and I was like, what? I think the 3D thing happened, right? But I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it afterwards. I'm like, that movie was what? I can't believe there's still 2 more coming out. Apparently, I don't get Avatar. Don't get it at all. But
no, so I mean, I respect it. I'm sure it'll make some money. But it wasn't really big for me. I know they did the Rainbow Six stuff, and I've played the Rainbow Six games. Like they're cool. Again, it's one like I can't play them all in between Call of Duty and Battlefield. Those typically take my first person, and now Halo obviously will take some of that too. So I didn't get super into that. So I didn't have a lot for Ubisoft. I know that I kind of wanted to see some of the Beyond Good and Evil stuff that we saw from last year. I was hoping for more of that, but I kind of feel like that too. But no, I didn't have anything else from Ubisoft. You?
Yeah, the only thing I really care from Ubisoft is Far Cry 6. So anybody out there who wanted more Ubisoft coverage, I'm sorry. Let's move on to the Summer Games Fest announcements. I don't. Again, here's another thing. I didn't really notice anything. I remember people were freaking out, or maybe there's rumors of Hideo Kojima.
The director's cut, right, of Death Stranding.
The whole Death Stranding director's cut, yeah. And then maybe there are these rumors that they're making a Silent Hill game.
Yeah, I would love to see a Silent. I mean,
even if it is real and comes back, I'm not. I mean, I'd play it, but I'm not going to like go out and buy a PS5 for it. I'll tell you that much. Like, again, when would Silent Hill 1 and 2 come out? Probably 90s.
Oh yeah,
right?
it was 90s, dude, for sure. For Silent Hill 1,
you guys. Ooh, rough. But yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
I mean, Square Enix. I did like the Guardians of the Galaxy game. I'm excited. Oh,
wait,
sorry.
No, we're not on Square Enix. We're on Summer Games Fest. So, but I'm looking through it. Let's just skip to it. Do you know Jeff Keighley? What are your thoughts on him? You know, the guy who hosts the Game Awards. Do you know who I'm talking about first?
I don't.
Okay, so watch him the next time. I'd love to get your thoughts on Jeff. Jeff, if you're watching and listening, we're fans, but I would love to talk to you. There is one thing I do want to talk about from actually the Summer Game Fest.
Yeah.
Tunic. they had another trailer for that. I don't know if you've seen this, Jose.
Mm-mm.
It's basically looks like a top-down like Zelda. What's the one that just came out in the one in Switch that you played?
Oh,
Link's Awakening.
yeah.
Just like that style, but with a fox. It's like it's independent.
Oh yeah. I have seen that.
So can't wait. There was a trailer for this, and I think there's actually a demo for it through Dang It today. I should have played it. I failed. That I'm excited about. I've heard a lot about Tunic. I've also heard from the Unlocked guys, Ryan McCaffrey, talking about it. I can't wait to play Tunic. So I want to give a shout out to Tunic. There's a game I want to play. No release date, I don't think. So who knows? But let's move on to Square Enix. I let me go first, Jose.
Go ahead.
Where is Final Fantasy VII for Xbox? Why have we not heard anything about that? This is getting ridiculous. And I kind of, dang it, that's maybe, I might change our question. Maybe I'll save it. No, I might save it. So from Square Enix, the only thing I can think of, nothing. That was my thoughts. Where's Final Fantasy VII Remix on, or Persona for Xbox? What were you thinking, Jose?
I was just gonna add, I actually was interested in Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that's a cool IP, and I guess the only hesitation I have is that I was actually really excited for the Avengers game that came out last year. I just thought that was like, why have we not had a current gen Avengers where you're Iron Man and Hulk, and why can't we do something really awesome with that? And I still haven't played it because every review I've heard is like, it's not that great. And they've been doing a ton of DLC. They have a lot of content. They brought a lot of these really cool characters like Miss Marvel and stuff in there.
Actually, have they?
Yeah.
I thought like you're still waiting for stuff. Like there hasn't been the content.
Oh yeah. I think they had some. They've announced a lot.
Coming.
Yeah. But because of that, that's my only drawback to Guardians, because again, the likeness of the characters are not the same. So it's not like Star-Lord looks like Chris Pratt, and Gamora doesn't look like Zoe Saldana, right? They're their own digital selves, and so that's my only, like, I guess, a little concern. But I like the IP. They can go lots of different directions that don't have anything to do with the traditional Marvel universe. So I think that's kind of a cool idea. And I do like Square Enix. I'll see what they put out. That's the only other one I had from them.
Yeah, and apologize. I completely forgot that this was this Ubisoft?
No, Square Enix was Guardians.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Is it on this webpage?
No.
Oh, I thought that was Ubisoft for some reason. Okay, no. So you're right. That is one game I am looking forward to. I will definitely play Guardians of the Galaxy. I actually think Guardians might be one of my, if not favorite, IP from the Marvel universe, cinematic universe. I knew nothing about Guardians going in, absolutely nothing. Yeah. And when I saw that first video, I was like, this is awesome and funny, and I like the characters. Yeah. They're very unique.
Soundtrack was dope.
Oh yeah, so I love Guardians. As far as the game, I mean, it looks cool. I'm not going to pay $60 or $70 for that.
Oh yeah, not paying full price.
Yeah,
for that
I'll wait for that bad boy. But I am interested. I liked what I saw, like the character interactions. I thought that was the most interesting part of the trailer, not necessarily the combat or the fighting. I liked the conversations they had, and I thought they did a good job with Rocket, actually, from what I saw. So
yeah.
Definitely shout out. I do want to play that. But other than that, I can't think of anything. And you said you went over Nintendo's. I personally didn't watch Nintendo. I don't own a Switch anymore. I'm still waiting for that Switch Pro. I mean, I like Nintendo, but besides Breath of the Wild, which, again, super overrated. That is not a 10 out of 10. I don't get the obsession with Nintendo, man. And Super Nintendo is probably one of my favorite consoles of all time, if not number one for me. But I just don't have this huge connection to Nintendo like everybody else. And I'm not like, I don't think everything they crap out is gold, man. I'm tired. It's like, Nintendo killed it. Oh my God. Metroid Dread and Breath of the Wild 2 trailer. Oh my God. Like, dude. Talk to me, Jose. Why do you think? What's with Nintendo, man?
Here's what I would say why I think Nintendo has had an incredible resurgence in the last couple of years. We talked about this a little bit, the Xbox PlayStation conundrum a couple episodes back, but one of the most brilliant things about the Nintendo Switch is that you don't need a TV to play it. Now, for the record, you and I
do you like playing in handheld mode?
No. Hang on. You asked for my opinion. Hang on here. You put that mute button on, sir. it, one of the best parts about why they proliferated is because you can play in handheld mode. Now, I don't like that mode. I know you don't like that mode. I don't like the Joy-Cons. They're too small for my hands. I play with the Pro controller when I play with it. But I will say, I think that has done wonders for so many adults and kids alike who can't monopolize the TV. There you go. He's holding the Pro controller in his camera right now. I think that's done a great job where you can play it sitting on the couch next to your friends or parents or significant other while they're doing something else. You can continue to game. And yep, they have classic IP. They have Mario. They have Zelda. They have Pokemon. They have Smash Brothers. They have Animal Crossing. Right? These are all games, that I don't love all of them, but I know a lot of people do, and I think that's done well. I will say I was really pumped to see the Metroid Dread stuff, and I'm not a huge Metroid fan. Like, I am not like a diehard. I know all of them, and Samus Aran is the most amazing character. Like, I think they're cool, but I was like never that excited. Like, I never played the one on GameCube, whatever the 3D one was. And I thought
Metroid
Dread looked
Prime.
cool. Prime, thank you. And I know everybody's waiting for another Prime to come out. So I thought it was cool. I like to see that IP come back out again. I would have liked to see the Switch Pro so they could kind of enter the hardcore gaming space. I know they didn't do that. Maybe that's still coming at some point because they didn't want to be overshadowed by some other stuff like Games Pass. I also, the Rabbids stuff, I never played Mario and Rabbids. Like, that doesn't really appeal to me. I do think Breath of the Wild was awesome. I don't think it was necessarily the perfect game. And like we talked about before, it was a little too big for me. It just ate up so much time.
Empty. Oh, and the freaking stamina bar. Anyone who likes that in a game is an idiot. I'm saying it right here. Or the breakable weapons. Come on. That is not fun. We're talking about fun. What is fun about your games breaking down and having to switch weapons in the middle of combat? Or trying to climb somewhere and slide down because you can't? That's not fun, Nintendo. And anyone who argues that that is a fun mechanic is an idiot. And I will say that again. That's why it's fun in Assassin's Creed. They let you climb anywhere and jump from anything because it's fun, and fight with cool weapons because it's fun, Jose. Anyway, keep going. Sorry.
It's really hyped up today, folks. I apologize for doing that. No, it's I like a lot of their IPs. I think the Zeldas look cool. Will I play Breath of the Wild 2? Probably at some point, but it's not going to be high on my list because, again, it's going to be such a massive game because we're now going vertical into the sky in addition to horizontal around the land. But I appreciate that Nintendo's still competing, right? I think they can still put on a conference in a world and compete against systems that are probably multiple times more powerful than their system. Mario Party, seeing another Mario Party come out. Again, I don't know if I'll buy Mario Party because we already have our own games coming, but it's cool. I'm glad they're doing it. And what I would argue, my last point, and then I'll pass it back to you, is what I really appreciate about Nintendo is that the majority of their games are games that I can still play with my very young kids. Well, a lot of my Xbox games, I cannot wait for the day where I can pwn my daughters in COD and where I can play Dead Space with them because they'll understand that distinction between fantasy and reality, but we're not even close to that. And so if I want to get them in video games, I really appreciate the Nintendo Switch as a place to do that because the games appeal to them. They are still fun, genuinely. They hearken to a different age. But I really got to give Nintendo props there. All right, what do you think?
I just feel, again, we've talked about this. I just don't understand why they get they get the Nintendo bump. Like, everything they do is just amazing. And that's not true. It's like Alan with Marvel. Shout out to Pack Attack. It's like Marvel can do no wrong. As much as people love WandaVision, I was like, this is the greatest, most creative show ever. Is it? Because I swear the 5-minute intros with the different decades, that was cool, don't get me wrong, but other than that, there's a lot of filler and I got bored in WandaVision. But Alan's like, no, this is the great. It's like whatever Marvel does, it's perfect. And that's how I feel like people are with Nintendo. No matter what they do, they're amazing. And they don't critique, or they're oblivious or blind, or they ignore the flaws of some of their games and the flaws of the performance. Like, maybe that's my problem too, is I just expect more performance. I can't even play Switch games docked at like 1080p 60. Like, that's, and I know that I'm not their audience and it's for kids and kids don't care about that. But at the same time, there are older people who like Nintendo stuff and want to be able to play more. I don't even know if hardcore games is the right word. More, I don't know. I guess I just, I expect more from Nintendo because they are a leader and they are amazing and they were there from the beginning. And I want them to just, but maybe they don't have to. Maybe I'm just the wrong audience, Jose. I liked Breath of the Wild. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a good game, but I, I, I like I said, the stamina, the breaking weapons, the huge open world. Cool. I can go anywhere, but 3/4 of it is empty and boring. Like we need to expect more from them. I feel like I'm gonna stop. I feel like they just get way too much credit than they deserve. I'm excited for Metroid Dread. I think that's cool. Super Metroid, one of my favorite games of all time. I prefer Super Metroid over Metroid Prime in the first person games. But they announced Metroid Prime like way back when the Switch launched, basically. It's 2021. Where is that game? Like, and people will be like, oh, it doesn't matter. They give us this. This game, I'm sure, was a lot easier. It looks like the one that just came out, the Super Metroid remake that was on like whatever their other handheld was. But other than that, like a Mario Party game that doesn't look very good and no Mario Kart. Let's just live on. By the way, that Mario Kart, Jose, that was a Wii U game.
Oh, I know. I remember.
Mario Kart 8
was a Wii U game.
Was a 2012 Okay, so but it's like they can do that, and then they're going to re-release Skyward Sword, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is amazing! The worst Zelda ever made," and they're going to charge you $60. Like, I just feel like, come on, man. Like, not same with PlayStation, but less so. Nintendo just seems to get way too much credit, and I don't get it. And
but you know what they're doing? They're doing the same thing, honestly, and maybe unfortunately, that Xbox is doing. Right, that they're releasing these HD remasters, and everybody loves them because you want to play through Resident Evil 2 again. I kind of wanted to play through Dead Space again. That's what they're doing.
Xbox isn't doing that.
But I'm saying I'm saying Nintendo is doing that. That they're saying like if we do a remake of Mario Party that's like a mega Mario Party, all these old maps and games from old games. We're going to re-release Zelda: Link's Awakening. We're going to do Skyward Sword because people love those games and they were so far ago. What it would be like to have them in quote unquote modern graphics. That's what they're doing.
But they're not upgrading it that much.
I know.
Like, that's just it. They're not remastering it. They're not, it's a slight remaster from what I could tell. And it's not a remake. Like Resident Evil 2 was a brand new game. That game was completely remade. I don't think you can compare that to Skyward Sword at all. And then my counter argument to you is also Xbox isn't doing it. Xbox is doing the opposite. They're giving you backwards compatibility, and they're giving you frame rate boost, FPS boost, and auto HDR for old games for free, Jose.
Yeah, that's fair.
As long as you own the game, your games. Oh, and some of them are upscaled to 4K. I played Crackdown and Forza Horizon from the 360, upscaled to HD, man, and it looks awesome. Or sorry, not HD, to 4K. Amazing. And they're giving that to you for free, where Nintendo is charging $60, and they're not even like fully integrating correct controls, because I guess Skyward Sword, you had to swing around the Wiimote, like an idiot. And I'm just saying, people need to just. Nintendo's a great company. They've brought me into gaming. I will never forget that. Some of my top 10 all-time games are Super Metroid, Super Mario World, A Link to the Past. I love Nintendo products, but at the same time, they get too much credit sometimes. So let's move on. Rant over.
Wait, one quick last thing about Nintendo, and then we'll move on. One game I am excited for, but I don't know if I'll buy it, is the Pokemon Unite game. That looks like League of Legends. League of Legends with Pokemon, where you like literally actually fight with them, and not like a battle where you like an RPG where you pick your move and then they like dash and you see like a little explosion like in the old game. It's like a true running around a stadium fight. I think that's I'm glad we can finally see that in real life. He's falling asleep over here, folks. I'm just saying I like that.
What were you talking about?
I'm a level 38 trainer in Pokemon Go.
You talking about Pokemon, another franchise I don't understand. Never got into it, Jose. Never.
You are missing out, sir.
Pokemon. I remember I tried to play on Game Boy when I was younger. I was like,
why'd you put that in quotes? You weren't younger?
I don't know. You're right. Sorry guys, I was falling asleep. And these Pokemon cards, I don't know what's going on. I'm a middle-aged man. Let's move on to the news, Jose. No more Nintendo. And that's just it, man. I love Metroid and I love Zelda, but anyway. Let's go into the news. We're going to cover this week's news, and I'm going to start with Xbox focus, then we're going to kind of drift away. The first thing I wanted to talk to you about Jose, and get your feelings on is Xbox Design Lab is back. You can create your own customizable Xbox Series controllers, and it is back. And I just wanted to ask you, do you have any personalized controllers, or would you consider getting one?
I mostly don't. I technically have a chameleon painted back of my pro control, or not my pro controller. What am I trying to say here? Elite controller.
Elite
Thank
controller,
you.
the greatest controller ever made. You guys,
And so
right
that's the other half of my answer to the question is, I don't think I would ever buy these lab ones, even though I love the lab. I love that they do it. I fully respect it. I have no issue with people that want to buy it. I think it's totally dope. But the problem is I want to play on an Elite.
I do too.
That's what I want to play on. It's the best controller ever. Why would I spend money, the same amount of money to get a colored controller, whether that's,
well, not the same.
I mean, but I'm just saying, like, if I'm going to spend the money, I'm going to buy an Elite controller. And if you've never played with an Elite controller, folks, it will change your life. Even I'm not as big of a gamer as DaddyDWALLY or Endorsement, not even close. And they both it took me forever for them to tell me, like, you got to get one. And I was like, I finally bit the bullet. I bought it on Facebook at a discount, and it has literally changed my life in so many ways. Like, just the paddle alone is worth the money for it itself, but the battery, the comfort, everything like that. And I played it so much that I literally wore off the rubber on the back, so I had to get the replacements on Amazon. And the ones they're chameleon colors, so they like paint shift on them. So that's technically a custom controller, but it's not painted like these. So I think it's cool they're doing it. I hope they make a lot of money. I hope people really enjoy it. But again, my opinion and my suggestion to all those listeners out there is, if you're going to spend the money, get yourself an Elite controller. It is well worth the money.
I will second that. I completely agree with everything Jose said. I think it's super cool. The design lab is awesome. I want to get some of those controllers. There are some sick colors, and I've always wanted them. But like you said, my biggest complaint is, please, Microsoft, Phil Spencer, fan of the show, I know you're listening, please let us customize Elites, and I will pay $200. I don't even care if it like jacks up the price. I would love to buy a customized Elite controller. And I understand why they probably will never do it, because cost already, I'm sure as it is a lot to make the Elite controller, because it is the absolute best controller ever made. But I would love to do that. Would I get one? Sure, man. I mean, if someone was going to get me one as a gift, I'd absolutely use the design lamp. I think it's super cool. And I love how I'd put my name on the bottom and everything. Like, I think it's so cool.
I was going to say, so let's live in fantasy land for a second. Let's pretend that Microsoft did let you customize an Elite, and money was no object. Let's say Allie was buying it for you for Christmas, and she said, I want to get him anything he wants. What colors are you going with on your Elite? I just got to ask. Or what's your motif, your theme?
That's tough, but I would get it obviously N7 themed or XRT themed, like a nice, it would be a black with hints of green or red. I mean, come on, look at me. N7 is everywhere. So the Mass Effect themed, but I don't know. I'd have to see. That's kind of tough to put me on the spot. I couldn't give you a direct answer, but that's immediately where I go. I love those, like the Broncos one, the NFL ones. I'm sure they're going to bring those back if they still have the license.
I'm sure they will
with them. Super cool. If I had money, I'd be getting all kinds of cool controls. I love that. Have you seen that green, electric green and yellow one or whatever? The newest, one of the newer ones. That's just a normal control that you can buy. Like, they have the white, they have the blue, they have the red, and they have this yellowish green. Like that bright green.
Yeah. The fluorescent green.
Yeah, the fluorescent yellow green. It looks sick. So shout out to the Xbox Design Lab. Again, I wish they did Elites. Or even, Jose, like you said, I think they need to come up with an option to buy cheaper. If you can't buy an Elite with the paddles, give us another way to buy a controller with paddles. I don't want to have to buy the Scuff. And I actually think I found out or heard recently that Scuff actually has the patent or trademark for paddles on the back. So for every Elite controller they sell, they're actually giving them money, I think, is from what I understand correctly. So
smart, man.
Jose is absolutely right. I had an Elite for a long time and wasn't using the paddles, Jose. I was an idiot. I couldn't.
Amateur hour.
Seriously, it has changed my life. I use my left paddle is slide or B, and my right is A button. And guys, it changes there. I can play with it, but I can't play FPS first person shooters now without the paddles. It's bad. Like, I can't do it. I have to.
What we need to do for next week is we need to each of us make a dream colorway on the design lab and just show each other. I
Maybe
think we
we'll
should
do
do that
that.
for next week. Just throwing that
Sounds
out.
good. That sounds good. Next item on the news. For the news, Microsoft says it will use cloud streaming to bring 2022 exclusives to Xbox One. So games like Starfield, Redfall, Stalker 2, basically we can do streaming now through PC and Android, and I'm guessing I think iOS is working officially, right? Or is it still in beta? But
It's still in beta, but it's coming.
But you can do it. I can try it. But what are your thoughts on basically giving people who might not be able to get a new series console or upgrade the option to stream these games that are exclusive to the series or PC console or series consoles or PC, the option to play on their Xbox One? What do you think about that, Jose?
I'm actually very happy to see this. Again, and this might be just me being trying to be a positive force in life. Not everyone in the world is as fortunate as you and I, and Endorsement, to be able to, one, get their hands on a new generation console, or to afford one. And I feel
like me and an
or have two. And I feel like the more we can do to break barriers so that people can play games, that is the right thing to do. And so I like that Microsoft is basically, they're doing Google Stadia. That's what they're doing there. It's a modified version of Google Stadia that runs their own servers, their own games and stuff. I'm super happy to see that they're doing it. I hope it's implemented well. You know, the one thing I'm sure there'll be haters out there saying like, oh, why I had to buy the new system. You didn't have to buy the new system. You chose to do that. And I also think that, you know, are these players going to be able to do like the first person shooters? Probably not. I think we're generations maybe out from that kind of connectivity where you don't have the lag and stuff like that. So this is really more for like, I want to enjoy Starfield. I want to enjoy, you know, Elder Scrolls 6 when it come out. I want to enjoy those things, and they're not that they're slower paced. They're still fast paced games, but they're not critical where you have to have those trigger fingers. And I think that's great. I think that they're smart to do it too, because whether I agree with it or not, and I know I do, I think this is where people are going. Like, I think Sony will go there too. I imagine maybe even Nintendo one day, depending on how hard their games are to run. It's just a natural progression of things, especially if Google Stadia is still going to be a thing. I don't even know if it's officially dead or not, but I think it's smart for them to do. Your thoughts?
No, I completely agree. And I just want to say, as far as you're talking about input lag, right? Playing a first person shooter. Have you tried any of the streaming? So I have. And let me tell you, I was really impressed. I played it recently with an Android. I bought a cheap TCL Android phone, and I used the Razer Kishi attachment, and I also used just my controller. And I was impressed with just basic like you were saying, just like a third person action game or anything that wasn't an FPS like Halo. Like Halo, I noticed the lag.
Yeah.
But everything else, I was like, I don't even know if I notice it. And it was really impressive, Jose. So if, like you said, if technology wise, if you have assuming you have to have good internet too, if they can do this and execute it well, this is a viable way to play games that, like you said, some people might still be on, a lot of people are probably still on 360 and PS3, and this would just even to be able to do it through a browser, like that's awesome on your iPad. And like you said, it goes back to, this is a way to allow more people who might not be able to afford these things to play these games, which is cool. And for us, like hardcore players, we're not going to do this. We have the hardware. Like, obviously we'd like to use hardware first, and I'm always going to do that. And I don't want to deal with input lag. I mean, I want to buy a freaking LG OLED screen so I can have 4K 120 and 5.6 milliseconds of lag, and but it is cool, and it's interesting because I heard some guys on I can't remember where it was, but they were just talking about how this is kind of like blending this gap between generations, and we've never really had that, to where if you think about it, you could have an Xbox One for the next few years and not miss out on some brand new exclusives where you need that new hardware to run it, but technically you don't now. And it's kind of crazy to think about I feel like Microsoft is doing so many things right, and they're so ahead of the curve, man. Like,
I agree.
I know you love Apple, and like Apple is they changed the game. I'll give Apple credit. They are the kings of marketing, by the way. I don't necessarily think that their hardware is necessarily the greatest thing ever. They are great at marketing why you need their device and getting people into the ecosystem. And I feel like that's what Microsoft is doing now, and they're ahead of Sony and Nintendo. It sucks that the Xbox One was such a bad launch and like people didn't switch over because now there's a lot of people, like I mentioned before, in the PlayStation ecosystem, so it's going to be harder for them to switch. But when you have Bethesda and you're giving these people reasons to why you need to get into the ecosystem, it's hard. It is hard to say, yeah, why would I can't. I don't know how people could be like, I can't do $10 a month for Game Pass, or even just do it for a month or a few months or something. And you can play on anything. Like, you don't even really need a Series X or a Series S. And that's what that goes back to. Remember, we were talking about, like, does it matter that PS5 is outselling Xbox Series consoles? No,
Yep.
what do you think about, Microsoft and how I feel like they should get some credit, and I feel like they deserve a lot more credit, especially because they see the potential in gaming. And when Satya said, we're all in on gaming, like
I told you, that's what they were serious.
We gotta listen. Yeah. So sorry. What do you think?
No, I fully agree. I just the only other point I would add is, so I have not played any of the cloud stuff because, again, I'm fully integrated in the Apple ecosystem. I'm very happy here. And the beta, I don't have access to the beta yet. If they gave me access, I would absolutely do it. I know Endorsement got access. He said it's pretty cool too. But I very much look forward to it because I fully agree. Like, it is incredible to think that I could, even like on a trip, I could just take my iPad and my Xbox controller and I could literally be gaming, pick up my place and just keep going wherever I'm at.
If you have good 5G too, it's not like people are always like, oh, well, it depends on the Wi-Fi. You could do it on your 5G. Some 5G speeds are better than people's Wi-Fi,
And so I think what's crazy is that I think it's still early enough that people don't fully grasp how impactful this is going to be. That's why we know about it, but it's not been big news yet because it's just not widespread enough. I mean, whether you like it or not, iPhones account for a ton of sales of phones in the US. And so as soon as that becomes commonplace.
I enjoy their product. Jose, let me just interrupt you.
I know. We talk about it all the time.
I have an iPhone. Well, to be fair, if iMessage was on Android, I'd swap in a heartbeat. Like, that's literally the only thing. They're smart.
You can do FaceTime on Android now. Did you know that?
No,
in the new operating system that's coming out.
Is that like hacked or something?
No,
or is
they're legit.
They're letting them do. Wow, props to Apple because that's shocking.
And they're opening it up where you can schedule it, like basically like Zoom. You can schedule a FaceTime call. It's cross-platform. It runs in browser.
See, but that's why they're trying to get.
You're right. They're smart. Anyway, so I think it's really cool. As much as I'm an Apple fan, I do got to give huge props to Microsoft, not just for what they've done in computers in the last decade or so, because they really have stepped up their game with the Surface stuff for sure. But also hardware, what they're doing, man, with this gaming stuff. I think it is truly going to be the future of this. I guess the only question I have about it, what is this going to look like in, let's say, 10 years? So Penelope, my eldest, 10 years, she'll be 16 years old, assuming I have gotten her into gaming successfully. Can we be all like streaming this in my house at one time? Obviously 10 years from now, we're going to see a lot of improvements technologically, but does it have to all be on my account? Does she have to have her own account? I'm curious to see how that's going to play out with households. Are they going to have like a family plan? I think that'll be an interesting question to run through.
Well, to answer about the family thing really quick, I know you can have gamer tags tied to one account. So there is a family plan and it's pretty nice. So, and actually you should get on that, get her gamer tag secured.
I should do that.
Like I have Grayson secured and I should get them for the girls, but yeah, they're all tied to one account and I haven't had too much experience from it, but from what I've heard, it works pretty well. But like you said, as far as streaming everything, you're right. Until the United States has like some crazy, I don't know how you would improve our network infrastructure. Streaming is always going to be and that's what I love about what Xbox and Microsoft is doing. It is a supplement to the main core, which is always going to continue to be hardware. And they even mentioned that recently at E3 is that they're already making new consoles. And I have no problem upgrading.
Me too.
Like it's, for us or a trade-in, like we're always going to have that, but it's nice to know that as a supplement to an amazing console and games and service that we already have, if you want, you can stream it. Not we're going full streaming.
The Stadia,
like Google Stadia or Amazon Luna. Like, I think that's where they're making the mistake is people aren't ready just to make the switch to streaming games. And as great as it works, I haven't tried it personally, and I'm sure it probably does work really well. But you can't force that onto people and just say, this is the only way to play. Microsoft is saying, this is another way for you to access your games. And that is smart. I think that is so smart to offer the hardcore. You've got Series X, the world's most powerful console with PS5, blah, blah, blah. Series S. Here's a a slightly, lower frame or lower resolution, but it's still got that SSD. It's still got a great CPU or GPU. I can't remember which one. And then you can still play your games on your Xbox One. You can play new console or new exclusives through streaming, or you can use your phone, or you can stream to your PC. Like, it's so smart, man. And I think they're not getting enough credit, but like you said, eventually people are going to start to recognize that Microsoft was ahead of the game. And I even think they're kind of ahead of the game back with the launch of the Xbox One with going digital. But remember how bad
the
that
implementation wasn't there.
And that's that exactly. And people weren't ready for it. And that's kind of Microsoft's, that they've always kind of struggled with that. Cause I remember Bill Gates holding up a tablet back in the day, but no one remembers that. But then people remember when the iPad and the iPhone, like it's just timing is everything. And I think for once Xbox has the timing right now. And I think they're killing it. And I think buying these studios and giving a reason for you to get in they're doing a great job. And I wouldn't be surprised if they buy more studios to offer more content. And I think they're going to hit their goal of a new first party game every quarter. And that was in the news, but we can talk about that another time. Let's move on to the next one. Jose, have you played Portal? Did you play Portal 1 or Portal 2?
I played 1. I didn't play 2. I played 1.
What did you think of Portal?
A disclaimer here, if you've never played Portal and you go back and play it now, the gameplay holds up. The graphics and stuff don't, but it was a little rough, but it was such a revolutionary game for its time. The puzzle based in the 3D world and the portal gun, like, plus of course the cake memes and all that stuff. Like it's a really cool game. That's why it has such a following online in the real world and stuff like that. So I did like Portal. I thought it was a cool game. I don't necessarily want a remake. That's not what I'm asking for, but I do have to give it props for what it was.
Yeah, and I'm kind of the same way. I don't really like puzzle games at all. And I remember people were talking about Portal and Portal 2. I'm like, I'm not going to play that. That's dumb. And I didn't play it. And I don't think I played it until backwards compatibility on the Xbox One. So I played it really late. And I really enjoyed them. I thought 1 was a great game. The story actually sucked me in more than I thought it was going to, even though I don't remember any of it right now. But Portal 2, Jose, I don't know if I played 2 or not. I'd have to go look. Now I'm scared because I can't remember if I played 2. Anyway,
the cake is a lie,
I can't remember. Oh no. Anyway, I think you're right. For a puzzle game, it's fantastic. The design, really cool. Got me into a puzzle game that I would never have played. But the only reason I bring this up is that the Portal designer, Kim Swift, joins Xbox, and she was the lead designer in Portal. She's joined Xbox Game Studio to work on its publishing program. And Jose, I just want to say this kind of goes on with Xbox building their team and their studios. And I just wanted to bring it up and hear your thoughts about Portal. And actually, honestly, I wanted to hear more from Chance because I know he loves Portal. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he loves Portal.
Maybe we'll talk about this next week. I just want to bring up that we are bringing in Portal people, Portal fans. A great game. Let's move on to the next one. Who knows what number this is? The next story I wanted to share, and I wanted to get your opinion on this. Okay, number 4. Thanks, Jose, for covering my caca booty there. Psychonauts 2 will release in August with no crunch, and and this is coming from Eurogamer. And Psychonauts 2 has reportedly been developed with no crunch, and Double Fine's Kevin Johnson said, "The team has been amazing. I'm proud to be a part of something so special that's been made in the schedule we set forth. I think you'll have fun too. Fun fact, Psychonauts 2 was made with no crunch." I just wanted to get your opinions, Jose, on, I'm sure you've read about video game crunch and people working crazy hours. And what do you think of all of this? And I mean, do you think that crunch and developers, do you think it's like a real problem? Or do you feel like crunch is just a part of the job? Or do you feel like some people just maybe spend more time than others on working on it? Like, what are your feelings from what you've heard about creating a game and the video game crunch and all that? What do you think, Jose? I wanted to get your opinion on whether or not crunch is a bad thing, good thing, or just a part of the business.
That's a great question. And not knowing this going into the article, just kind of my thoughts on the topic.
Yeah,
in general.
no, and I think you can apply this to work and what we do. Like, for example, I can tell you right now, Guys, it is a lot more work to make a podcast and to edit videos and to edit the podcast than you think it is. But I spend hours doing this because I enjoy it. I'm not
Yeah.
getting paid for this. I'm probably will
Yet.
never get paid for XR2. Yes, God willing, hopefully maybe someday we will. I would love to. But I'm doing this because I love Xbox. I want to talk about it. It's a good way for me to catch up with my friends. And I enjoy it. And honestly, I do want to bring some positivity. Like I've been listening to other Xbox podcasts and I find myself listening to them less, Jose. One, because we have our own, and I'd
Competition.
rather listen to us, and but I like listening for other ideas and perspectives. But at the same time, it's like I still feel like there's still this negativity, and like I said, I want to keep it positive. So I do want to continue doing this. But back to the crunch thing, and even with working, like there are times where I'm working at home when I shouldn't have to, but I want to do it to get ahead
Yeah.
or to make sure I have less work to do or not to take work home. I was always good about that when I was teaching. I was really good about not taking work home. I got it done at school or I made time to stay later or whatever. Am really good about don't take your work home with you unless you absolutely have to, or going into working from home. I've just accepted that I'm kind of always on call, right?
Yeah.
I'm always checking my email now.
Yeah. We are
Like
too.
ever since this past year, I like, even when I'm going to be off for like my week or two, I'm still going to be checking my work, like it is what it is now. But
Yeah.
I just wanted to get your thoughts on like crunch, and is it healthy? Is it bad? And is it exaggerated? What do you think, Jose?
So I'm of two minds here. So my first mind is that crunch isn't necessarily a bad thing, and in this context. So I mentioned in one of the first episodes we ever recorded, part of my job at my school is to run graduation. That's part of what I do. We do graduation every year at Red Rocks. It's a very beautiful venue here in Colorado in Morrison. It's beautiful, awesome place.
A lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but every year I know that the month of May is just going to be this crazy crunch time. But so and I don't mind it. I plan for it. I'm ready for it. I know that, I'm not going to be able to spend as much time at home gaming. I might have to spend a few more hours at work each week than I was intending, that kind of stuff, but totally doable and absolutely totally worth it. That's the important part of it. It's worth that crunch time, putting out extra effort to get ahead and stuff and make things as best as they can be. I think in that context, crunch time is fine and it can be great. And sometimes, honestly, my best work is done when it's crunch time, where it's like instead of just mulling over like 6 different ideas, I don't have time to do that. So I say I'm just picking an idea and I'm going with it and I'm going all in. I think that's great. With video games, I think that there can be an element of that too, right? As you get close to making that golden master, right? There are just times where you're going to have to debug longer. You're going to have to test longer. You might have that. I think that's fine. Where I think this becomes problematic, and granted, I have no real experience in this. I've never worked for a game company. I don't know how to write games. I don't know any of that. But from what I've seen and heard in the news and stuff, and even in fictional shows and stuff, is that there is also a line where it's too much. It's like at some point, just delay the game. And that's even from the perspective of the gamer like myself. Like we talked about this a lot with Cyberpunk. I'm super glad that they pushed it out. I'm excited to play it still here, hopefully soon. But at the same time, because I had to wait so long anyway, if they had told us back in November, December, we got to push it to June, yeah, that'd have been a bummer. And we probably would have talked a little bit of crap about it. But honestly, we would have just moved on. It would have been fine. We had other stuff to play. And instead, I think they released it. And this is not to say that CD Projekt Red did a lot of crunch stuff. I don't know for a fact if they did. I've heard some, but I don't know. That I think is harmful to employees, right? To the point where you're pushing unrealistic expectations and you're just basically being like a slave driver, like, well, fix it. And you're like, sir, I can't. It takes hours. You're like, well, you have 30 minutes. Like that is not healthy. That's not great for people's like physical health or mental health. I don't think that breeds great results in anything, let alone video games. And so I think that that's where we have to be a little bit careful. So I'm actually really glad to hear, coming back to the article, that Psychonauts didn't have that clearly Double Fine Studios have really had their act together, or they actually just made a timeline that was realistic to create this game. Yeah. And so I'm excited. We talked about this last time. I'm excited to play the game and just kind of see how it seems as a polished game, but that's kind of my thoughts. What do you think?
No, I think you said it really, really well there. And tying it back to the article, you're right. I can't wait to play Psychonauts. But to be fair, I wanted to just say like Psychonauts has been in development for a really, really long time. But hopefully what results is, like you said, is this really polished, really fun, unique experience. And I think that's where Microsoft coming in and buying these studios and saying, hey, we're going to take that load off of you. Don't feel like you need to crunch for your games. We'll take care of the finances. Just make your game. I think that's really cool and really special and really smart of them to do. And I hope, like you said, if a game is not there, just delay it. Don't give us these broken games with these huge day one packs. Like, I'm really afraid for Battlefield, man. I'm not gonna lie. The more I think about it, like, the last time Battlefield launched, that was rough, dude. And I don't know if I could do that again. And
Okay, first off, you know you could do it again. Like, I know for a fact you could do it again.
It was rough. It was fun, Jose, but I remember a lot of times being like, this is bad. Like, it was bad.
We all got diced. We used to use that expression for months and months.
Exactly.
I remember. And I agree with you, except two things just quick about Battlefield, and we'll go back to the news. It's been a long time since Battlefield 5, dude. It's been a very long time. They've had a lot of time to develop this. So I'm actually not that worried about that aspect of it. I think that they've held off on promoting.
Jose, when do you think Battlefield 5 came out?
I'm going to go 2000, or no, let's go. I buy my house. Like 2016, 2017?
No, 2018. So it's only been 3 years. And to be fair, this is multiplayer only, so maybe they have nailed it. But I'm still concerned. Sorry,
no, it's fine. I'm not that worried about that piece. The issue there was the servers. The gameplay was cool. The content was dope. The graphics were beautiful. It was the server issue in multiplayer. And to give them credit, they've had lots of time to work on servers. DICE has. So I'm really hopeful that they've learned their lessons. Obviously, we've had enhancements in hardware and networking over the last 3 years. So I'm hopeful that that's where they put a lot of their times, or a lot of their efforts, for sure.
So what do you think about Microsoft taking the load off these studios? Do you think, I think they're just ahead of the game, and I hope that there won't be as many delays, because I hope that now that there's so many studios, this allows to spread out the release of everything. But I guess I just want to close on this again. Guys, developers, anyone, Phil Spencer and
your whole team,
fans of the show, the whole team, all of Xbox, all EA, Ubisoft, all you guys, delay your game if it's not ready. Take your time. People will buy it. And going along that, I know for some reason, I don't know if I understand this correctly, don't announce your game too early either. Yeah. I feel like, I don't know if that's an investor thing, Jose, I'm guessing, but like, announce it somewhat soon to where you know it's going to be ready. I remember there was so much hype, Jose, when Fallout 4 was announced like at E3, and then it came out that fall. That was huge. And everyone was so excited for that. Like, I wish more game companies would do that instead of announcing
2 years in advance.
Exactly. Or many, many years. And Microsoft admittedly is guilty of this now, but I feel like they were in a different position because everyone's like, where are the games? Where are the games? You guys have no games. Microsoft has shown a bunch of games. We have a bunch of games coming. I feel like the games argument is dead. And
I will say, I think the one cool thing about Microsoft taking the pressure off studios is I think it will spread out the games, not in specific seasons, because I think historically the biggest seasons where you want to release games are in December for the holidays and in like May, June for the summer. Like, those are the big target dates that companies would want to hit. And that probably caused a lot of that crunch time. Like, we got to hit it for production or whatever. And now Microsoft has the power to say, like, look, you're still getting your money. We're just going to push you to September. It's fine. We got plenty of stuff to come in between now and September. I think that that's a cool element that they could bring. I don't know if they will. They haven't said they're going to. That's just me thinking. But that could be a nice way to, spread out the game, so I don't feel like I have a backlog instantly when I see E3, but also to help teams and corporations and these companies do some better stuff. So I think it's cool. I'm excited to see where it goes. It's at least something new. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah. And again, I just want to shout out to Double Fine. I can't wait to play Psychonauts. I never played the first. I'm just going to jump into this one. Can't wait. August. Absolutely. I'm excited. Jose, I'm going to skip one of the stories. It was about loot boxes. I want to kind of read more into that so I can explain it better. So we'll cover that next week. Don't let me forget. Mark that down, please. Assistant to the co-host. We're going to close off with something that I know is near and dear to you, Jose. The report, EA Motive Revival Project sets tongues wagging. Mark your calendars. This comes from Tom Phillips over at our friends at Eurogamer on the June 21st, 2021. I'm not going to read it with your weird date format. Star Wars Squadrons developer EA Motive is working on the revival of an established fan favorite IP. And this comes from the ever chatty Jeff Grubb. Jeff Grubb, shout out. Jose, I don't know if you know who Jeff Grubb is. He's on Twitter and he's he's a games journalist, but he lives in Colorado and he lives in Highlands Ranch. So we might have to have a crossover.
Bring him in here.
We could get him on our show. This is an official invitation. Jeff, please. Another Colorado boy right here. Not quite native, but I've been here since 1990. From the first grade, so close enough. Jose, are you native? Jose is a native.
Born and raised, man. Rose Hospital downtown.
Colorado guys, I know you're a fan of the Kind of Funny guys. I know you, Snowbike Mike. We went to Boulder High School. Blah blah blah. Okay, I see you, Snowbike Mike. Come on to our podcast, all right, Jeff. Formal invitation. Please come on. We get some growth from having him on the show. But selfishly, no, for real, I think it'd be really cool. Maybe someday I'll reach out to him. But so anyway. According to Grubb, EA plans to announce the project at its upcoming EA Play event in just a few weeks. But what could it be? Well, we're going to see it, Grubb says, if we're not dead first, Jose. Jose, do you know what he's referring to or what it could possibly be?
I think I know what he's referring to. I'm getting half-masked up here on these nips. You don't even know.
Jose, take over. What are you excited for this? Okay, so the EA Play event is Thursday, the 22nd of July. So I need to remember that. So maybe my Mass Effect guess might happen then. Why it's in July, I don't know, EA. I think they wanted to delay it for some reason because maybe the stuff wasn't ready. So, Jose, what do you think they're teasing? What are they remaking?
Well, the clear connection, if they say if we're not dead, is something related to Dead Space. Now, again, right, I mentioned this in our prediction episode.
You did a good job. I would give this to you.
Not for the points, but I'm saying they are working on the Callisto project. That has already been announced by some of the same creators. And if you ever saw the Callisto project,
is this the same people as that did this game, or is that somewhere else in EA?
It's not EA, but it's the same studio that helped create it.
I'm going to look it up. Anyway, continue your thought. Sorry.
In the Callisto project trailer, there was actually a breakdown video. I think IGN is the one that
Callisto
did it.
Protocol,
not project. Sorry. And
there were actually creators at Dead Space. So see, look. So I think this is the completely different. So these are people who broke off and did work on Dead Space, completely independent from. Not connected to EA or Dead Space at all. So let me just clear that up.
So it's not Callisto Project.
These guys are ex-Dead Space developers. Have their own studio making their own game. That's how the Callisto Project.
So I would love to see, of course, a Dead Space remake, like an HD remaster. I would also be dope. It would be cool to do a Dead Space 4. We'd have to. Actually, I don't want to do spoilers there, but there would be some elements about that if they wanted to do a Dead Space 4. But I am super excited for this. And honestly, you know what? Even if it's not Dead Space, even if it's just something in that same genre, the space horror genre, I am all in on that. So I'm super excited for the 22nd.
Okay, so assuming Jeff's tweet is a direct, if it's not Dead Space, what other EA franchise do you think it could be that's being revived? Is there anything? Like, I can't even think of anything.
The only one, and it was because of the Star Wars reference, was the Knights of the Old Republic. But was that EA? I don't know if it was EA or not.
No, that is rumored, but that's someone completely separate. So that is not EA. I don't think at all. So that's a good point. But I don't think that's it. It has to be.
It's got to be Dead Space, dude. That's what it's got to be. And I'm going to have to take a week off from work. I'm going to literally be like, I'm going to be like, Lynn, I have something very important this weekend. Yo, a wedding? Yep. It's a wedding.
Yep.
In space.
Would you be satisfied if it was just a remaster of the trilogy?
I would.
Like the Mass Effect. Like, why would they not?
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
Well, because honestly, when was Dead Space 1? It's been many moons.
That's an old game. I want to say that's like 2008.
I was going to say.
I want to guess.
I was going to say like 6 or 5, dude. Because it was in high school, right? And then it would be even earlier.
2008. I was right.
Okay. So it's just out of college.
So Dead Space 2, 2011, Dead Space 3, 2013. And just so our audience knows, I didn't play Dead Space, Jose, until last summer during the pandemic, man.
Dang, dude, that's insane.
I went through all 3 games. And isn't that crazy? Never played them. And I had gotten them all free through, I think, Games with Gold, probably. I don't even know if I had to buy any of them. And speaking of Games with Gold, those are probably the last games I downloaded that I completely forgot. But Loved Dead Space 1. Dead Space 1 is hands down the best one of them all. 2, I could see why people might like that. They improved on some of the gameplay. It was more action oriented. And then 3 was just caca, straight caca.
I didn't hate 3. You're right. 1 was the best.
3 was bad. Oh my gosh, Jose. I wanted it to. That was one of the games where I'm like, can this game just end? Please just end. How is? Oh, I'm still going. Now I'm here in the snow, walking slow. Oh my gosh. I'm just. Anyway, Dead Space.
Yeah, I'm hopeful for it. Game. 22nd.
Jose, super excited. All right, Jose, let's move into, I wanted to go into reader mail, but I feel like this would really benefit with, as much as I hate to say it, Chance's input on this one. And I also have another question that I wanted to bring up. So guys, we're going to pull an old curveball right here. We're just going to skip
call an audible
reader mail. We'll call an audible here. We're going to do it next week because these are good questions and hopefully the news won't be as crazy past E3. Wait, when is that conference? Okay, no. So we should be good. So I'm going to skip reader mail and skip the good old days. And let's just jump right into it, Jose. What was the best food you had this past week, my friend?
Honestly, it was a super busy week.
Didn't you have I was going to say, you probably went to a few places, didn't you? Or get some home cooking?
I mean, it was mostly just like quick stuff because we were getting ready for like the birthday and stuff like that. The things that I will say that I really, really genuinely enjoyed, and it's going to sound silly, was that Costco pizza. I have not been going to Costco a lot with my wife recently because I've been doing working and stuff. I was still at work when she was done she was on summer. And so when those 3 large pizzas showed up at my daughter's birthday, I was like, that's delicious. And I actually still have one more slice in my fridge I'm going to go get after this and enjoy before the gaming session tonight. That was really good. The other thing that I said that I haven't had in a long time was just some good old fashioned Chipotle. Like we went there the other day, the mask ordinance was lifted. So we sat in the restaurant and ate. And the best feature about going back was that the Tabasco bottles were back on the shelf. So you could take it to put it in there. You didn't have to get the little pre-made cups. You know what I'm talking about? So those, I know that's not super exciting for the fans out there, nothing crazy yet, but hopefully with some new stuff coming soon, we'll have better stuff.
Hey, you can absolutely not go wrong. If you haven't had Chipotle in a while, it hits so hard and is so delicious.
Phenomenal.
I haven't had it for a while, so I know the next time, especially if you get a well-made one, man, Chipotle is just, it's still so good. Guys, by the way,
I was going to say, before I pass it on to you, about the best food, 2 things I got to quickly mention. I did finally try those Reese's peanut butter cups that you and Indoorsman really ran.
Oh, the all peanut butter?
Were amazing. Like you were totally right about the 2 kinds of peanut butter. Like I really thought it was going to be one taste.
That was Chance. That was me.
Real good. And then the second thing I have it upstairs, I haven't tasted yet, is a Slim Jim. I love Slim Jims, but this is a Sonic branded Coney Island dog Slim Jim.
Oh, well, I can't wait to hear back on this. I haven't opened it yet,
so we'll have that review coming next week.
I think I want you to eat it on live recording right now. I need you to eat that. Just slide that Slim Jim down your throat. Well, Jose,
what was the best thing you ate?
That you are not wrong. You should not be embarrassed. I was going to say one of the best things I had last week was the Kirkland signature brand cheese pizza. I had never had it before. Delicious. Game changer. I loved it. I loved it. I don't know if it's worth $10 considering you can get a carry out from Domino's or Little Caesars.
Dude,
or even Pizza Hut
size though. The size,
it was delicious.
Man. For $10, there's no other pizza place that size you're going to pay $10 for.
Okay, that's a good point. You're right. The size of it, absolutely correct. Delicious, guys. The Kirkland signature brand takeout cheese, specifically the cheese. Jose, I've never been a big pepperoni fan.
What?
I'm not a fan.
What the?
I know, isn't that weird? I know. I don't like pepperoni pizza. I like the cheese, or I like bacon, or I like bacon onions, and like you give me a little supreme sausage, but for some reason, just pepperoni. I'm like,
it is the classic one. It's the classic pizza.
I would argue just a plain cheese pizza is, but no, you're right. You're right. That's probably the most. If you're going to have one ingredient, probably people would say pepperoni. I agree. But yeah, for some reason, not a big fan. Anyway, loved the Kirkland signature brand pizza. Don't be ashamed. So Jose, the next thing I had that was delicious, and I just had it, you guys. I hadn't had Buffalo Wild Wings in a while. And speaking of a thing that hits hard,
B-dubs.
if you haven't had it, the B-dubs, man, BW3s.
I'll
Here's
say
the go-to,
what you
guys,
picking
and
there?
the
I gotta
little
know the
advice.
rundown.
This is not amateur hours. I don't mess around. You go 20 wings. You heard right. Just from me, I eat 20 of those bad boys. And then you do 3 sauces. And here's the sauce. And this is the rank of best. If I had to rank them, number 1, mango habanero, hands down the
Classic.
best. I've tried other mango habaneros out there. Doesn't compare to
Nope.
BW3s. I don't know what the freaking magic they have going on over there, but they've perfected the mango habanero. Next up, Asian Zing. That's the number 2. Awesome. That's a medium. Have you had Asian Zing, Jose?
I have. I'm not a huge fan though, but
You
I
know,
respect
okay.
it. I respect it. Mango
It's
habanero, you had
delicious.
me at.
Yeah, Asian Zing is very popular as well. And then 3, we're gonna go standard traditional hot. And unfortunately for me, they gave me 9 hots and 7 of the others. So I wish I would have gotten more mango habanero. That was probably on me. I probably selected hot first, but mango, Asian Zing, hot. I might switch up the hot. Like I like a standard hot sauce, on your wing with dipping it, douse it in the ranch. By the way, ranch only. I hate blue cheese.
Yeah,
Blue
get
cheese
the
makes
blue
me
cheese
gag.
out of here.
Oh
It's
my
literally
gosh.
mold on cheese.
Dude, I don't know. I remember every time I put them out, I'm like, that's like, I don't like.
Do you know who likes blue cheese? Endorsement.
Who?
He loves blue cheese.
He would. Chance loves random exotic cheeses. I don't get it. I can't. You guys in the melting pot too, by the way. I can't wait to go at our anniversary.
We're like 360 days out.
But yeah, so I had Buffalo Wild Wings. I didn't eat all 20. I only ate like 16 or something, or 17, but I almost ate them all. That's my go-to.
Are you doing bone in or bone out wings? I just have to ask.
Okay. Let's continue. If I had an ideal world, yes, traditional wings, not that caca winglet or boneless chicken nuggets. And also, if I could, I would get all flats.
Ooh,
I used to be a drumstick. I know. I used to be a drumstick man as a kid. Like, going KFC, give me that drumstick. I want the leg. Now it's all about those flats, man. I don't know what is. And I think you used to be able to select. Maybe that's Wingstop. That might be Wingstop. You can select all flats, cash money, take it to the bank. I wish Buffalo Wild Wings added that. But yeah, I'm a flats guy, traditional. And then also give me the ranch and give me your mix of celery and carrots. That's
you need that crunch in there.
What
too.
about you, Jose? What do you get?
I mean, we do the mango habanero too, but usually I would go 2 sauces, and the other one is the hot. I also like the hot, just a classic flavor. Although, and I do love the traditional wings, but I become more of a chicken nugget fan in my old age. I like the boneless, and you know what?
Well, somebody boot this guy out of here. I can't believe this.
What I would say though is,
caca.
How do you feel about the lemon pepper? Like at Wingstop, I was never a fan of it because it's like a more of a dry rub. It is. I've come to take it to love it, man. It's delicious.
Yeah, I think I had one of them at Wingstop recently, or not too long ago, and I was like, man, this is really good. I'm not a big fan of the dry rubs, but it depends.
I know.
I think that's way better on the chicken nuggets than the traditional.
Yeah,
wings.
I feel like that's right.
And I will say that I can't remember. I think it might have been Wingstop. We just got their chicken tender or their there's like their basic, like it was basically just a chicken tender. It was delicious just by itself. I can't remember. I'll have to get back to you on that, Jose, but I'm pretty sure it was at Wingstop. Just the traditional chicken tender wing. It was phenomenal. And maybe it was one of the dry seasonings, but big fan of wings here over at XRT. I could eat wings.
Absolutely.
All the time. Also, I want to give a shout out. I almost went to Moe's Barbecue. I love their wings. Basic, not spicy, just delicious. Especially with the white sauce. That's the key.
Yeah, the white sauce is the key.
Oh my gosh. I could just the white sauce.
Also, one other thing, and I actually have one for you. I'll bring one to you later on. I got to give a shout out to our cousin's girlfriend, Megan. She's the one from Wisconsin I mentioned to you that came through. Their family stopped by our party, and they brought us this beer from New Glarus Brewing. Which is,
I think, did you send the picture of it?
Did I send it?
Is that like Colorado Spring? That's a Colorado beer, isn't it?
No, it's a Wisconsin beer, but it's like really rare. Like you can't get it here.
I'm
like
thinking of
Tipsy's or anything. Spotted Cow, phenomenal. If you're ever in Wisconsin or you know someone,
that.
it's like a well-known beer. It's really good, dude.
Yeah,
real mellow. I got to give a shout out. Thank you, Megan. Appreciate it for that as well.
Oh, let's continue this best food I ate. And I forgot, Jose. On one day, I don't remember what day of the week. I think it might have been, what day is it? Sometime last week. Allie and I and the kids, we all went to a restaurant. And this was the first time the girls had ever been to a sit down
Oh
restaurant in their
snap! Oh snap!
lives.
Okay.
So it was a big deal. And we went to Yard House and it went surprisingly well. So I just want to shout out to my family and our kids. They did a pretty good job eating. It was nice to get out and just eat as a family. The bill was like $140. That's probably why we're not going to be going out to eat very much.
Yeah, when you have
as
to
a
buy
family.
5 meals, it's like,
But
oh my god.
you know, but I did learn, we could have just split up maybe one kid's meal and some of our
Oh,
food.
that's the pro tip.
But
Don't get a
yeah,
kids meal for every kid. They
don't
can't
get
eat
them
it.
for
They
every
can't
kid.
eat it.
Yeah, I learned that. I know. Especially they gave us hundreds of fries. But I just want to shout out. We had a great time. My new drink go to. I usually love tequila, Jose, and I'm a tequila guy. But when I'm just lounging and just a cool summer day, or a hot summer day, and I just want to relax, get their old fashioned. I've become an old fashioned.
It's a delicious
I'm
drink.
not like a big whiskey guy. Delicious drink. So I get the bold fashioned. Here's my go to at Yard House, guys. Then we get the Korean barbecue beef, and then the new spicy volcano shrimp.
Ooh.
And I'm good. Like those I highly recommend them. But I did notice this is June 21st, 2021. So we're at the end of the pandemic. Nobody wears masks anymore. If you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear masks. I don't want to ask you another question after this. I did notice when we went during the pandemic, when everything was spread out and there weren't as many people, the food was fantastic. This last time, I was a little disappointed with the amount I got with my food, Jose. The serving size, I feel like they gave me less, and I feel like it wasn't as well prepared. So I feel like they're feeling, the stress and getting back into it, being at like full capacity and maybe not as much workers. Have you noticed any of that change?
A big issue, I think, is the worker issue. I think there's a lot of places. I mean, you see signs everywhere.
Shortages,
We'll hire for all positions. And some of that, I hope that will kind of rectify itself over here the next couple months. But yeah, we've definitely noticed that when you go to a place that's busier, it takes a little bit longer than normal to get food. Some of the preparation isn't as clean and nice as it was when they only had like 10% capacity, which makes total sense.
So some of the pros and cons of pandemic eating, and I'm gonna miss it. I'm not gonna lie, some of it, but it's nice to go in.
Yeah, but you know what? To be fair, and for our listeners out there, if you're an avid mask wearer, or you're like out in Cali right now, and you're like, that's messed up. You should be wearing a mask. In Denver today, 13 new cases, literally under 100, 13 only.
I haven't been keeping track, and almost more than 50% of the state's been vaccinated, right? So.
Oh yeah, so it's very, very low rates in here right now. So if you're from out of state and you're wondering if we're just like that, we're not. We're very conscious. We have both small kids. We care about it, but it's honestly very, very safe. I wanted
to ask you. Okay, so according to this, it says 6 million doses of giving, almost 3 million. Yeah, so almost 50% of the population has been vaccinated. That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to ask you, Jose. Speaking of masks and whatnot. Do you have the kids wear masks still, like in the restaurant? What are your thoughts on that?
We have been having the kids wear masks out, like basically between the car and entering or sitting down or whatever. But usually,
like when they're
as soon as we sit down, they're off. No, when they're sitting there, they take them off, and there have been a couple times where we forgot a mask because they're not like everywhere in our life now because we don't even have ours anymore. And so there's been a couple times we haven't, and it's been mostly fine. I mean, we still care. We still monitor the numbers. If things were to go back up, we have our masks. We'd wear them again in a heartbeat. But it's been really nice to do that kind of stuff. And honestly, we're still eating a lot of meals at home because even though we can go to restaurants, just easier to eat at home still sometimes.
Yeah, and I was just thinking because the girls are 2 now, and so technically they probably should. Like my aunt took them to the museum and they weren't wearing masks. I'm like, I think they're supposed to have their masks on, Tia. Just because kids getting it generally there are no symptoms or it's like a cold, it's not a big deal. But there's still the small percentage and risk and whatnot.
He's still concerned.
Yeah, and actually, Allie just got. I think I told you got tested for COVID because she was really sick after, the past couple weeks. It came back negative.
Yeah.
So, but shout out to Chris Paul, got vaccine and also got COVID and had to miss his first game of the Western Conference Finals. But luckily the Suns won. So shout out to Chris Paul. That sucks. Jose, I think this was a great 2-man show. It was good. The good old days, just me and you.
Great to be back in recording mode.
And I'm looking at, hey, shout out again, Rowie, Riverside. I know you can listen to all these files, man. Just want to say Jose's is being uploaded. I can see it right now. This is a fantastic feeling, you guys. So I'm excited. We're going to have proper video, proper audio. XRT is back in full swing. Jose, do you have any plans for the week? Anything special going on?
Girls have swimming lessons tomorrow morning, so we'll be up doing that pretty early. We got some of those house projects done, and then it's actually Shady's daughter's birthday on Thursday.
Oh,
Cora,
wow.
it's Cora's birthday, so I don't know what the plans are necessarily for that, but hopefully seeing them. And then it's actually my father-in-law's birthday on Friday as well. And then in addition to all of that, I don't think I mentioned this before.
Parties for you, man. It's June. Jeez.
Yeah.
And the girls,
yeah,
I
sure.
forgot my own daughters are Junes.
Yeah. And so other than that, I mean, just playing games where we can, try to enjoy summer as much as we can. It's like DaddyDWALLY said last week, we literally had like 4 days straight of like almost 100-degree or sometimes 100-degree weather in Colorado, which was just miserable. And then of course, starting on my daughter's birthday, we've started to get some kind of overcast and rain, which has just been really nice to sit on your patio, have a drink, enjoy the stuff. And for Father's Day, my family bought me a new grill. So hopefully be grilling some stuff out there, which I got to season it and that kind of stuff. How about you? What are you up to this week?
Yeah, and so my Father's Day gift was the bike to ride with Grayson, so that'll be fun. Got the mountain bike. I just wanted to say, I'm gonna try, you guys. Jose, you too. We're gonna stream my basketball game. I failed last time.
I'm gonna watch it.
OGB, man. Hey, I had a great first game, you guys. I had a couple threes, had a 3-point play, like all 3 in a row. Hit 1 3, hit another 3, had a 3-point play. I finished strong at the hoop, hit the free throw. Jose probably had almost 20 points. It was great to be back. I just want to say that, Jose, it felt so good to be able to play basketball with everyone and give hugs to Zach and congratulate him. Shout out to Zach, your AD.
Yeah. Shout out to Zach Morris, man.
Sean and see Ray and just dude. You could just tell we needed that, and it felt so good to be able to go out there and play. And we had a blast. And I can still dunk you guys. I can't wait to ball. So,
did they lower the hoops like a foot?
You wish, Jose. I'm 10 feet. Even Zach was like, dude, I think you can still throw it down. I'm like, watch this. Zach was like, all right. So that's my big plans for the week. Can't wait to play Wednesday. Make sure to tune in, you guys. We will be doing OGB. And that's basically my plans, Jose.
One last thing too before we close out. I forgot to tell you, very important, just before we started recording. Guess what movie I was watching with the girls we got from the library? That would be Three Ninjas from the 90s.
You should just ask me. I have my DVD. I could just let you borrow my copy.
Oh, I just ripped it from my Plex server. Literally, it's right over there. We were only like 30 minutes in, and then they had to go to bedtime. No, that's Surf Ninja. No, I said Three Ninjas, not Surf
I thought you
Ninjas.
said Surf Ninjas. Oh, I don't care about
No, that's going to come later. I want to show them Surf Ninjas too.
Well, now I'm disappointed. I thought you said Surf Ninjas. My bad.
Three Ninjas is a classic.
We were moto surfing. And with that, guys, this is episode 7 of Xbox Record This. I am one of your hosts. Well, I'm the host, DaddyDWALLY. You can follow me.
The hostess with the
all
mostest.
Social media at DaddyDWALLY. And joining me, as always, is the assistant to the co-host, Jose Martinez, Chipotle Bear. You can find him at Chipotle_Bear on Twitter. Usually we have a third person here, but I forget his Instagram handle. Maybe he'll be here next week. But, he had a name change, so we can skip him. So, as always, thank you for all of our listeners. We really do appreciate it. I hope the show continues to grow. Maybe Jeff Grubb, if you're listening, you can come on our show. Phil Spencer, please feel free to hit me up in my DMs are open. And you can find us at Xbox Record This on all social media platforms. You can also visit xboxrecordthis.com, which, Jose, I do need to update. I need to get you on there. I need to update our exit as well, and I'll do that. But again, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And as always, see you online.
See you online, buddy.
Xbox Record This is a podcast created by Daniel Walenzik. You can follow him at DaddyDWALLY on all social media. The assistant to the co-host is Jose Martinez, and you can follow him at Chipotle_Bear on Twitter. The assistant to the co-host is Chance Siegel, and you can follow him at BubbleBoyN7. You can follow the show at Xbox Record This on all social media. If you'd like to find out more about the show, visit xboxrecordthis.com.